These Violent Delights. So this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in 1920s Shanghai. That's like the only summary I need. Really. This is like, it's perfection. 1920s Shanghai, Romeo and Juliet retelling. Hello, welcome back. So today we'll be picking out my January TBR. I decided to switch things a little bit this month because before I was kind of picking out my TBR at random and it didn't really work out that well. Then for the past 2 months I actually started just drawing out the names of the books that I was interested in reading. However, that proved to be a little bit tricky because for December I actually picked out 4 historical romances and some other books, but I just wasn't in the mood to read that much historical romance, which kind of really messed my whole reading month. So I decided to change things a little bit and I'll be doing a TBR game. TBR games are really popular here on YouTube. Pretty much everyone has got their own version of a popular game, whether it's a board game or a card game or anything else really. Which helps them to like pick their own TBR. But I decided to kind of go with a card game because I just didn't want to like spend that much time on like converting a board game for the purpose I needed. And yeah, okay, so let's go play the game. Okay, so the rules are very simple. I have a standard deck of playing cards here. I have removed all the cards below 9, and for the cards above 9, I've assigned a prompt to each card, which is part of a suit. So there are 4 suits. For each suit, there are the cards from 9 to Ace in this little mini deck here. Now, all the prompts, I've tried to group them as well as possible, but it wasn't. Some of the prompts were kind of random, so they didn't really go with the other prompts that I've assigned to that suit, so I did my best. Okay, the game is extremely simple. I'm just gonna show you how I'm gonna play. Now, first I'm gonna shuffle the cards. Right, so now I'm gonna pretend that I'm gonna play solitaire. So I'm gonna place 5 different columns here because I want to choose 5 different books to read in the month of January. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not actually gonna play a game of solitaire. I'm just gonna order the cards as if I were gonna play solitaire. So for each next row, I'm gonna place 1 less card than the row before that. So 4, then 3, then 2, and finally 1. So at the end, okay, it's driving me crazy. I really like straight lines and yeah, anyway. So at the end we have to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. So I'm gonna reveal the last cards from each column and I'm gonna read a book based on the prompt that corresponds to each card. So let's see the first one. So this is Jack of Spades. The first card that I picked out was Jack of Spades and the prompt that corresponds to this card is Urban Fantasy. So for Urban Fantasy I chose Legendborn, which came out a few months ago. I've been dying to read it ever since it came out, but with the way I was choosing my TBR the past 2 months I never picked that name from the bowl. So anyway, basically this is about a girl who, I believe she's in high school, but she attends this very exclusive pre-college program at a uni, and she finds out about these secret societies which have magic. And the other thing I know about this book is that it's inspired by Arthurian legend, and I absolutely adore Arthurian legend. This book is set in the US, so it's gonna be a very different take on Arthurian legend, which I'm super excited about. Ooh, another spade. This is King of Spades. Let me turn it around. So this is Fairy Loot's deck, which came either in last month or the month before that. Okay, so the second card was King of Spades. This one corresponds to morally gray main character. And for this one, I chose Rhapsodic. So I remember starting this book a long time ago, and I never finished it. And I actually decided that I wanted to read more of the books that I have on Kindle this year, because I tend to forget the books that I don't have physically with me. So I've got a very kind of long list of Kindle books I haven't read, and so this one I really want to finish it. It follows this girl who was a siren, I believe, and she makes a lot of deals with this very powerful creature slash man slash I don't remember what he was, called the Bargainer. And because she makes a lot of deals with him, she ends up owing him quite a huge debt. And one day he comes to collect his debt, and he needs her help with something. So I remember that it was interesting. I just don't remember ever finishing it, and I'm kind of interested in seeing where that story goes. And I remember that both characters were very morally gray, so it fits the prompt perfectly. Okay, so the next one is Nine of Clubs. Okay, so the third card was Nine of Clubs, and it corresponds to the prompt Start a Series. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit here and choose The Way of Kings, because one, I was supposed to finish this last month. I didn't finish this last month, and I'm still 300 pages in. So this is a 1200-page book, and it's the beginning of a series, which is why I think it obviously fits the prompt. But I said I was gonna cheat a little bit because I actually started reading this already. I just haven't finished it, and considering that this is such a chunker, I just don't want to put another book. I just don't want to start another series when I've already started like this very, very extensive series. So yeah, I hope you forgive me. But so yeah, I'm gonna be finishing The Way of Kings. I'm super invested in the story. It's very hard for me to describe what this is about, because this is just your standard high fantasy with a lot of different points of view, with a lot of world building. There are a lot of conflicts going on at the same time, so it's not like just one struggle that you can summarize in a sentence and just like give a good synopsis for the whole book. So it's really hard. Besides, this series is gonna be of 10 books. So this is the first book, and I'm like 300 pages in. So obviously we haven't even touched the main conflict. So, you know, it's great though. I absolutely enjoy it. Like the little I've read so far, I'm super invested in this one. Actually, I said it was gonna be 10 books, but I think that the whole series is gonna be 10 books, but the first 5 books are gonna be like one completed story, and then the other 5 books are gonna be a different story. So technically, you can say it's a 10-book series, but it could also be classified as a 5-book series. Anyway, regardless. Ooh, Queen of Clubs. Let me turn her around. Next, we had Queen of Clubs, and the prompt that it corresponds to is an author using a pseudonym. So I was really hard pressed to find a book that corresponds to this prompt, because the obvious choice was Cathy Clare, but since I've already read almost all of her books, I just wanted to choose something else, and the one I came up with was by Ilona Andrews. This is Clean Sweep. So Ilona Andrews is a writer duo, a husband and wife, who Ilona is the name of the wife, and Andrew, I believe, was the name of the husband, and they've combined their first names to make their pseudonyms. So anyway, they write urban fantasy. I've read their Kate Daniels series, which is absolutely phenomenal. I love it. They actually have a new book set in the same world, Blood Air, which is coming out this month. I'm super excited about it. But anyway, so this is a new series. This follows a girl who runs a bed and breakfast in Texas, and she's very ordinary, except for the fact that she's a witch. I'm gonna read you part of the synopsis on the back because it's really funny. So Dinah is different. Her broom is a deadly weapon, her inn is magic and thinks for itself. Meant to be a lodging for otherworldly visitors, the only permanent guest is a retired galactic aristocrat who can't leave the grounds because she's responsible for the deaths of millions, and someone might shoot her on sight. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Now, for something with wicked claws and deep water teeth has begun to hunt at night, feeling responsible for her neighbors, Dinah decides to get involved. Before long, she has to juggle dealing with the annoyingly attractive ex-military new neighbor, Sean Evans, an alpha-strain werewolf, and the equally arresting cosmic vampire soldier, Arland, while trying to keep her inn and her guests safe. But the enemy she's facing is unlike anything she's ever encountered before. It's smart, vicious, and lethal, and putting herself between this creature and her neighbors might just cost her everything. So this sounds like a very fun read. It's really short. It's like 200 pages, so I just wanted, after The Way of Kings, I just wanted something short. And it seems like super interesting. It's gonna be a light read. I'm super excited about this one. And the final is Queen of Hearts. We've got a lot of face cards here. That's great. Okay, the final prompt was the one that corresponded to Queen of Hearts, and this was Asian-inspired fantasy. This is probably the book that I'm the most excited about. And regardless of what had happened with the cards and the TBR, I was gonna read this book this month because I'm crazily excited about it. And it's These Violent Delights. So this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in 1920s Shanghai. That's like the only summary I need. Really. This is like, it's perfection. 1920s Shanghai, Romeo and Juliet retelling. It's just amazing. And yeah, I cannot wait to finish The Way of Kings and start this one because I'm sure that I'm gonna love it. I'm sure I'm gonna love it. Absolutely. Okay, so these were all the books that I have on my TBR for January. I'll surely be reading like other books as well because I'm a mood reader, and I'm sure that I'll just pick out something random at the middle of the month. But I'll be trying to read all 5 of these books, and I'm extremely excited about all of them. Let me know what you plan on reading in January. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!